All right, we're in the middle of the review for test 1, number 11, absolute value. It is a less than, and that's a positive number. So let's go over the rules real quick. Less than a positive number, you're going to turn it into a three-term or three-part inequality. If it's a less than a negative number, then it's not going to have any, it's going to be no solution. All right, if it's a greater than and it's a positive number, you're going to make it an or problem with the same and the opposite, and I'll explain that one. And if it's greater than a negative number, it's going to be all real. So that's a nice thing to put on a flashcard if you need to, okay? So a less than with a positive number says three-term. So what you do is you write down what's in the absolute value, the symbol on this side, the less than, and the positive number, and you go over here and add another inequality symbol, another less than, and put the negative number on that side, and solve it like a three-parter. And divide by 4. So you're going to get negative 7 over 4 is less than x is less than 3/4. And I need interval notation for that. So if you want to sketch something really quick, that's a negative number. So that's going to be on that side. That's a positive number. That'll be over there. And this is x is greater than a negative 7/4, and x is less than 3/4. So greater than, soft bracket, less than is here. So that's going to be final answer negative 7 over 4 with a soft bracket, comma, 3/4 with a soft bracket. Okay. This one is a greater than, so a greater than with a positive, you're going to turn into an or. So you're going to write it as is, put an or, and then write it with a flip symbol and a negative number, and then solve. Keeping all the symbols the way they are. Dividing by a positive number, we're not flipping anything. Oops. Sorry. There, or. And this one's negative 9. 3x is less than or equal to a negative 16 divided by 3. So x is less than a negative 16 over 3. That sounds weird. Let me check my key. That's what it says. Okay. So if we're supposed to put that on a graph, let's see. A negative 16 would be down here, right? And a negative 2 3s would be up here. And it's going to be less than that one, soft bracket. And it's going to be greater than that one, soft bracket, and it's an or, so we want all that in the answer. I'm out of space. Let me erase this guy up here. All right, so this is going to be soft negative infinity, 16/3 soft, union, negative 2/3, and positive infinity soft. Okay. All right. The next one is an inequality with an absolute value in it, but it's not isolated on one side. So I don't know about the sign yet. So I need step 1 would be to isolate my absolute value on one side. Keep everything going till that's done. All right, I am dividing by a negative, so this is going to be the absolute value flipping the symbol. Was it greater than? I'm going to make it a less than, -2. And an absolute value less than a negative means no solution for an answer, because an absolute value, that has to be positive. So there's not going to be anything you can put in there that's going to make it smaller than a negative. So that's a no solution, okay? If you're asked to graph them, you're just going to have, you know, your number line with nothing up there, okay? Here's another absolute value buried, so let's unbury it here. Divide by a negative, so we're dividing by a negative, so we need to flip the symbol again. So this is 2x minus 5, and it was greater than, we're going to make it a less than 3. So it's going to be a less than, so we now need to put it into a 3-parter. So 3 less than 2x minus 5 less than 3. Solve. 2x 8, 2, 2, 2, 1x 4. All right, so that's the same as an x is greater than 1 and x is less than 4. So if that was on a graph, you'd have a 1 and a 4. It'd be greater than the 1 but less than the 4. So my final answer is going to be 1, 4. Okay. 15 says, whoa, sorry about that. I was just trying to make it a little bigger. There we go. Find the equation of the line in point slope form, and in intercept form, given the slope. So m is -9, and it passes through this point, which we're probably going to use that for. So given a slope and a point, you want the point slope form. So point slope. Okay, slope-intercept. Gonna need all that stuff. So let's go with 1 minus a -5, right, from our point, equals our slope of -9x and our x1. Don't forget the formulas have negatives in there, so we need all that. X plus 5. Let's distribute -9x, +9. -5, move that over. Y equals -9x plus 4. If you want to check that real quick, it said that that point right here has to work in there. So the y was a -5, -9 times the x plus 4. So this would be -5 equals a -9 plus 4. -5 equals a -5. So that works. So that's got to be right. Okay. All right, number 16. Write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form that is parallel to this line. So we need to know what the slope is, because if it's parallel, it's going to be the same slope. So isolate my y. Y equals a positive x minus 5. So my slope right here that you don't see is a 1. So a line that would be parallel to this line would have the same slope going through this point. Okay, so y minus 4 equals 1 times x minus a -2. So y minus 4 equals x plus 2. Nothing to distribute with that 1 there. Just need to move the 4 over. So that's going to be y equals x plus 6. I believe is our answer. Let's check by putting that point back in. So 4 is supposed to equal -2 plus 6. That will do that. So that's good. All right, graph the equation. It's already in point slope form, so the slope is -5/3, and the b is 3, which means the b is 0, 3, which means the first thing I do is go find the 3. And then I'm going to use this as rise over run. So it says -5. That's the way I wrote it. I chose to put that negative up with the 5. Don't put it in the 5 and the 3. It only gets one negative. So if I went up 5, it would go off the graph. So I put the negative up on the 5, so it would go down. From B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you pause and you want to go up +3. 1, 2, 3 puts it here. That makes it a line that goes in the negative direction. That is down the mountain, and that's a negative slope. And that's what M was. It was a negative slope. So we want to make sure it goes that way from B. Okay? That's all I needed to do for that one. 18 says, write the equation of the line that goes through these 2 points. So the slope formula, M equals y's over x's. 2's first. Okay, so x1, y1, x2, y2. I've chosen this to be 0.1 and this to be 0.2. So I'm going to plug this in here. -1 minus a minus 7. 3 minus 2. 1 plus, -1 plus 7 is a 1, is a 6 over 1 is a 6. And I need the whole equation. So what I'm going to do is put it in the point slope formula and use my 1 point here. -7, 6, oops, x minus 2, right? I'm keeping an eye on that right there and this right here, and put them together in the point slope. Y plus 7 equals 6x minus 12. Don't just forget to distribute all the way. Subtract the 7. Y equals 6x minus 19. You can always check by putting this point in that. -1 better equals 6 times 3 minus 19. -1 equals 18 minus 19. -1 equals -1.